before you can use Git at all, you actually need a Git to exist. And if you don't get given access to a Git, you're going to have to start by creating one. And you can do this on GitLab or GitHub or any other Git hosting website. So, to start, I'm just going to create a new project by clicking the new project button. And it's going to be blank, and I'm just going to call it example git. And on GitLab specifically, you want to make sure that it's set to your user rather than your group. Otherwise you can't make it public later on for some strange reason. And I'd recommend initializing it with a readme, and then you click create project. And now you have your project here. And here's the readme it initializes with. And you can see that we've got our initial commit, and that's what we're going to focus on next. Not committing, cloning instead. Next we're going to focus on cloning our Git, which means to bring it onto our computer and make it local. However, before we do that, we need to decide where we actually want it on our computer. Now, there are visual applications you can use for Git, specifically Visual Studio Code. However, I recommend using the command prompt. So, we're going to go to where I want to store my Git. Now, a thing to note, I'm not going to teach you how to use the command prompt. You should know how to use it. So, I'm just going to change to my D drive, and then go to this directory. And cloning a Git is as simple as copying the URL at the top of your browser, and then putting git clone, and then in quotes, the URL. And it will clone it onto your computer, and we can see it right there. Example Git. Now, one thing to note is that all Gits have hyphens. They don't have spaces at all. And I do not know why. Next, we need to focus on changing the local Git and then pushing those changes to the remote Git. The local Git is the Git that is on your computer, the files that are on your computer. And the remote Git is the Git that is stored on the servers on the Git website. So, first of all, I am going to make a file. I'm going to call it example.txt and butcher the pronunciation of txt. And there you can see example.txt. Next, we're going to go into Vim, and we are going to modify the markdown file. If you don't know how to use Vim, well, I'm not the one to explain it to you. So, let's go into insert mode and delete everything. Okay, and after deleting a lot of text from the README file, you can just use a regular text editor, but I'm using Vim. And now we're gonna just put all the text is gone and try to spell gone correctly. And now we are gonna write and quit. And now we are going to push these changes. And in order to do that, first of all, you need to add the changes by writing git add and then a full stop. And a full stop in this context means every single directory and file that has been changed. If you want to put a specific change in here, you put the name of that file here. But for now, we're just going to put a dot. Next, you want to commit this change. Now, to do that, you put git commit -m and then edited readme.md. And inside the quotes is the message you want to put for the commit. So that can be literally anything. However, if you don't add the -m, it will allow you to change the commit message in your selected text editor. And by default, that's Vim. So if you don't want to use Vim and you just want to put a simple message like that, put -m. Anyway, it'll then show you all the changes that you've made. And finally, once that's done, you want to push the Git by simply putting git push. And there you go. And here you can see the commit message, but by clicking on the commit, you can actually see what's changed. So red is removed, obviously, and green is new stuff. On the left is the old line number, and on the right is the new line number. So if it has two numbers, so let's say this said 93 and here it says 1, that would mean this line used to be on 93, but it's now on 1. And here you can see this file was entirely added, except it wasn't. That's an error on my part, I don't know. And we can correct it. So if I put explorer dot, that opens the file explorer to this current directory, and we can remove the files we don't want. And we can add them again. We can commit them again. And now we can push those changes again. We can see that we've removed the unneeded files, like that, and now we only have the files that we want. So that was a good way to show you how to change files that I did by complete accident. But what if you make a change on another computer? So now I've done some work on my other computer and I've pushed those changes to the Git itself. I don't have that file. How can I get that file? How can I get that change? Well, it's really, really simple. As long as your version of the Git is up to date, all you need to do is write git pull. And there you go. We've now got it. You can see it right there. However, what if both computers are out of sync? Well, it's a bit complicated when it comes to that. Best thing you can do is push the changes on both computers and then pull on both of the computers, and hopefully that should get things synced back up. The worst case scenario, however, is you'll have to re-clone on one of the computers. And that's all there is to Git. It's really simple, as long as you understand the command prompt. Thank you for watching, and I hope you understand this. If not, well, that's what I expect. Hahaha, this was a joke video. Haha, I did. Yeah, I'm terrible at tutorials. Goodbye.